Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Well, there you have it. You heard my audio testing. Check, mic check. I had to actually test out a mic when I switched it over to my Yeti. I realized, oh wait, people can hear me if they are on the other side. Hi everyone. This is my CityClips series. My name is Julia Holly. I do my weekly updates about how everything is going with CityClips, the newsletter that is focused on business and tech, particularly in the North Florida area, and then some parts of Southeast, of course. And so we are watching, learning, reading, curating everything related to both the growth of business and the growth of tech, innovation, research, whatever you would like to share, we are here for it. So the topic that we picked for today, and we decided as a team that we would highlight everything related to what Alex Lieberman shared. He's the co-founder of Morning Brew, a very successful newsletter business, and he was very open and freely shared his little playbook, which is pretty long, actually, if you ask me, which was great. Like, I love how it's not even a full book. You can just read through, and then he gives you a step-by-step process. And then I just compare the notes, and I learned from it to see, where we are at as far as what we're doing for growing our newsletter called CityClips. And so I can go ahead. Let me share my screen so then you can see what I'm referring to. Our topic is all about picking the right team members. And as you can see, I went ahead and took Alex's playbook and took his post and then just made it into a worksheet. Like, what can I do? It's almost like a planner. I took it to the next step and took his playbook and just thought, okay, how can I follow this? How could I hold myself accountable to follow step by step what to do? So we covered the last few weeks about picking your niche, and then the second step was to develop the content strategy. I talked about that, and then today we're talking about picking the team. So it was really interesting to see how he was able to break it down in different types of models. Let me go ahead and zoom in, and then I can show you a little bit about what we're doing. Let's see here. So picking the team. What in general, as far as where my experience goes, I've had a lot of experience with recruiting part-timers, interns, student interns, subcontractors, because I am a bootstrap business and I heavily rely on client work to cover all costs and just business costs, expenses, human resources, that kind of thing. And so I don't have anyone full-time. That's a little context about my team. And then that's the beauty of building a newsletter business, is because you don't really need a big team. And at some point, you can eventually hire full-time, but you don't really need a full-time team. So in terms of picking the right team and team members, there's several things that you can look at that might help you build your newsletter business or even get support for maintaining a newsletter. So I could provide that insight, and then also we can look at what Alex recommends. So I really like how he took into consideration how maybe if somebody's starting fresh, there's 3 different, well, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gives you different phases. I might as well just bold it. So 1, newsletter as a hobby, 2, newsletter as a side hustle to business, newsletter as a company, content product, newsletter as an ad-based business, and newsletter at scale. So we're going to take a look at this really quick, look at his notes, and then I can tell you a little bit about my experience of how I've been able to maintain for a whole year everything related to this. So, it's super cool. This is super helpful. And I did share the link in past shows. So if you need me to share you really quick, I think I have the original link of his post. But anyways, let me see real quick. So he says there are 3 legs to the newsletter stool. It's funny because this is stool. Interesting. Oh yeah, picture a stool, 3 legs. Get it. When I originally read it, I got it. Okay, and so it's content, growth, and monetization. So you obviously need to have 3. There needs to be an owner of each leg of the stool. And then he did say that one person can own all the legs. And then it says how you staff your newsletter depends on content needs, frequency, and length, and financial runway and goals. There are people who are building newsletters on their own. They might not have as much frequency, but they can maintain weekly, they can maintain monthly. Initially, when I signed on to be a partner with Ali, I said, okay, I think I can manage twice a week. And then he eventually encouraged me to do this daily. And I'm like, okay, part of me was like, I don't know if it's something that we can pull off or something that Tallahassee would even want. Is this something that Tallahassee wants? And so far we verified, okay, yes, we have numbers growing. It's at 280 subscribers now. It's taking a while. In our case, he owns growth. So that's where we're a little bit slow right now. And we've had a lot of success with attending in-person events, and I'm getting people to subscribe in person. So that's where we're getting some growth. And then now people are starting to refer us. Friends are referring friends. And then, okay, so going back to the different types of newsletters for different options for staffing, he did say pick one. Newsletter as a hobby. For me, my view of this is it's not a hobby. So I'm glad it's not just me who owns all 3 legs. And then newsletter as a side hustle to business. I am hoping that this could be a full-fledged business. This is in a sense a side hustle. I am doing client work. That's primarily what pays the bills, and my contract work pays the bills. If I just don't overspend on new projects like this and on other things related to the business. So for here, option A, he said 1 person can own editorial, growth, and monetization if applicable. And then option B, 2 people. 1 owns editorial and 1 owns growth and monetization. Like I said, Ollie is supposed to own growth. And monetization, that's something that we both actually are involved in. I've considered different valuations and different types of deliverables where people might find value in being a part of the ad as a partner. And then, of course, my team owns the editorial. Option C, 2 people. Between 2 people, 1 acts as editor and oversees growth and monetization. 1 is a junior writer. Okay, so the editor owns the content side of things. And when I say own, that means like they take ownership, they actually get it done. So editor oversees growth and monetization. And so that's a lot. And then I guess they're just asking, they're suggesting like a junior writer can be or an intern, not sure. In my case, like I have people, my team members helping me put together the drafts. and then I finalize the last touch before it goes out and gets published. So I add the personal voice to it, I add the humor, I add the wit. Sometimes my team members have been really great about adding, my voice, like applying my voice to it, but for the most part, they help me. I curate the content. I tell them, like, these are interesting topics we should cover. And then they also curate some content. I pointed them to multiple sources of information. And then we figured out a process that works well for them. And uh, they draft things out according to the style that I wanted. I set it up so that they can, they know how to put it together. I taught them how to put it into MailChimp. That's the platform that we currently use. And so it's been a great setup. It's been very consistent for us. And so far, we have not had any issues, I don't think. I mean, there's nothing major. There are some cases where, like, I still, if they're overseas, they don't know the culture, they don't know what's going on locally, and that's fine. That's where you come in and you can provide the voice and local insight too. Okay, so going back to this newsletter as a company content product. So that means one editor, one writer, one PM that liaises with growth, design, and product. This is interesting. I'd like to see more on this, like what Alex means by this. I'm guessing this means project manager. He didn't spell that part out. So, and then maybe it's almost like this is when they say liaisons, I'm thinking about liaison. So we'll see if he breaks it down a little further in the pitch, in his playbook. Okay, so newsletter as an ad-based business. So if daily, 2 writers, 1 editor, 1 growth tech lead, and 1 sales lead. Whoa, that's that we are daily. This is me. This is daily. And so I guess I would be the editor. Like if I were to make this into a worksheet. We have 5 dedicated, you can say, writers. So 1 editor, who would that be? I guess that would be, to me, I have like support reviewers. So I actually have 3 to 5 support reviewers. Maybe I need to make some editors, reviewers, because they help catch some errors before me. So it looks like 1 person is focused on growth. I wonder why it's tech. I don't know who. Let me just put in name. And I'm going to fill in that blank because I'm missing that person. And 1 sales lead. That might have to be me. I mean, I guess this would be Ali and his team, my Ali. But that way we're not having to hire out. So yeah, this is us right here. We're daily. Let me go ahead and so that way we can. So hard to see. I'll just do this. Okay, there. If weekly, bi-weekly, 1 writer, 1 editor, 1 person who PMs and owns growth. Okay. We are daily. So we got to that point. Okay, newsletter at scale. So 2 to 4 on editorial, 2 on growth. So that's like 6, 1 organic, 1 paid, 2 to 8 sellers. Maybe that's almost 8 to 14 plus 15, 17. Interesting. So it's almost like 15, 18 team members. So yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe we can get away with 10, but that's interesting. That is a good size team, but I think it's worth it if they want to do it. We want to get to this level. Just don't know right now at this level if we can, but I like how he provided the example of morning brew. So in this case, it started as a college team, and that was the story. So Alex was the original editorial guy. Austin, he did the growth side of things. So tech meaning probably MailChimp platform or whatever platform they decided, and then eventually from my recollection of the story is that they ended up creating their own internal version, which I hear that Beehive could be the closest version to that. And they, some of the team members from the original Morning Brew team who helped with that tech also co-founded and started Beehive. So I'd like to see where that is going to go. So both Austin and Alex co-own growth. And then one college student acted as managing editor. One college student was a voice editor. Interesting. Voice editor. Huh. Why would it be a voice editor? I just took whatever formatting he had, but this makes me want to capitalize it. Because there. 4 to 8 college students act as part-time writers. That's cool. They had 1, 2, 3. No, same guys. 3, 4. So they had about 8 to 16. 8 to 16. That's a lot for college and managing that. I wonder if they estimated total. Okay. And then for the initial full-time team newsletter as a business, when they transitioned into a full-time team, Alex owned editorial and sales. And then Austin owned growth, of course. 2 full-time writers. That's nice. 1 tech growth employee and 1 junior salesperson. So they started doing sales when they got to that point. So it's about, looks like it was about 6 full-time team members. Cool. Morning Brew today, tech newsletter at scale. So this is the large version. So yeah, sales. That's where I need help in general. Like sales takes a while. So it would be 3 on growth editorial, 1 managing editor, 3 writers, 6, 7, 15 plus 1. So it's about 20 team members. Goodness gracious. That's pretty much one of the reasons why I wanted to start an email newsletter business, because that way you don't have to really grow a giant team. But it really depends on your niche market. You could probably still monetize well with just 2 team members. I only say that because I know it's possible, and I've heard of interviews of founders who did a significant annual revenue, ARR. So yeah, That's interesting. Okay, this is for the next topic. We do not need to cover all that. So at least you see, we've talked about the amount of team members and the what roles need to be covered. And then for us, in our case, as you can see, like we already have, I would say it's more like summarizers, not primarily writers, or just curators. And so 6, 3, 5. And I think I have primarily like 1 to 3 editors. So this is what he recommended, but we actually do. We just put in we have 3 to 5 support editor reviewers. So 1 growth tech lead, that's supposed to be Ollie's team member, and then 1 sales lead, me. I would have to. I really probably should outsource this so that they can focus on it, and I don't slow things down with that. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at as far as our team for setting up a newsletter. And then experience with picking the right people. There's different levels of business. There's probably businesses that have 10 to 50 employees already, and they have an HR person that manages all that. But I think for me, and I see a lot of entrepreneurs like myself, like with small teams, or maybe they don't have dedicated team members, that struggle a lot with the having to train and having to, the turnover is real, right? Like there's going to be turnover, and you have to retrain, and you have to, go through that whole process of finding the right people. So my hiring process is really slow. I do that on purpose. It's really true. Hire slow, fire fast. Or sometimes I hear it the other way too. Fire fast, hire slowly. But anyhow, yeah. So making sure that these part-timers, subcontractors are the right fit for you. The initial test for me is like, okay, can this person respond to my emails? Are they good with follow-up? Are they detailed? I have a design challenge that I request for them to go through. Are they patient enough to go through that challenge? And I also have someone, it's kind of like a assistant challenge in a sense, like they go through kind of like a test online. Because primarily, like my business model is primarily remote and also digital, like primarily digital based. Like, so they have to show initiative. They have to show that they're proactive. They can communicate well. They're detailed. That kind of thing. There's no time for me to micromanage. There's no time for me to like make sure that they're like, I'd rather someone be remote and be productive and get stuff done versus like them showing up at the office and not doing anything. So, and then for me, I can focus more too because they're not at the office trying to talk to me and ask me a bunch of questions. So it's worked really well for me. Thankfully, I have a very supportive team that keeps me going, that really gives me motivation. A big reason why I keep doing what I'm doing, because there are forces in play in different directions where I sometimes wonder like, oh, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to continue to do this? I can just take care of myself. I can just take care of me, myself, and I, and not have to worry about other people. And I hope my team members see this and they appreciate this. I remind them sometimes, like, I don't really have to do this anymore. But I do really like, this aspect of creating content, organizing content, communicating with people. Like, these are some of my favorite things to do that, not currently getting any revenue from, but very happy to do it. And people are in the community are saying that they're getting the newsletters, they're checking it every once in a while, and they're learning new things every day. So, yeah, I appreciate you all being super loyal and supportive. Before I end, I can't wait to go over the next part of that newsletter, and that post that Mr. Alex made. Might as well share with him this video. But I will. Let me stop sharing that part. Let me go ahead. Of course, our weekly drawing. Let me do this. We've extended our weekly drawing for a special prize. But this one is, this is all about, it is a regular drawing. Because so far, we are not seeing anyone enter in the giveaway that we made an announcement for the taste in the garden for 2. I put it in my newsletter, and it's possible that not everyone saw that. So we might have to do another version of it. But anyways, I'm going to close it soon, and I'd rather just give it to some friends that I know they subscribed and they would enjoy the dinner for 2 for that charity dinner. So I might as well just give it to them. And plus, they didn't claim their prize either, and they did win one. They did win a prize. So let me go ahead and do this drawing. It's still showing those little, my new piggy side doesn't want, okay, ready? Drum roll. Congratulations, Chris. Don't forget, guys, if you are watching this out of curiosity and haven't done so already, subscribe to CityClips. It is cityclips.net. And we hope to see you guys next time. Any questions? We'd love to hear from you. Bye.